Hey boys and girls, how you doing? It's the Serviceman, and this is another interview with an SOB.
Thank you.
And today's SOB is, you have one of the most interesting names on the planet. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Have you been told that before?
Yes.
Did you choose your name, or was this your birth name, or how did we arrive at the funkiness that is Dell?
Well, it's really Delinda.
Right?
And I've always been Dell as a kid.
Right.
And I went back to it because when I was in sales, it was so easy to just say Dell, like the computer.
Yeah.
And now I ended up in the computer recycling business. So
you're stuck with
it. It's perfect.
Right. Well, that was the thing I was thinking when I saw your name. I'm like, there's no way that's really her name, because I don't think I've ever met another Dell. Have you?
No, not Adele.
Okay.
It's Adela or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Funk is your husband's last name?
My ex.
Your ex. Okay.
Yeah.
So does your current husband know that?
Actually, we're not married until August 1st.
Oh, very cool. Am I invited?
Sure. Now
Let me just throw that out there on video. Cool. Local? Away?
Local, probably in my backyard.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Congratulations. And his name, you want to throw that out on the video?
Rabinowitz.
And wasn't he, well, you want to give his whole name, or he just goes by his last name?
Yeah,
hey, Rabinowitz, come over here.
Yeah.
I got some recycling over here.
Well, it's Greg Rabinowitz.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, I'm going from Funk, German, to Jewish Rabinowitz.
Oh, I thought Rabinowitz was Asian or something. No, not so much? No. Okay, it's a very Jewish name.
Yes.
Is he from here?
New Jersey.
Are you from here?
Kinda. New Smyrna Beach.
Oh, okay.
On the other
it's not
coast.
too far. How did you guys end up here?
Oh, my ex brought me here.
Uh-huh. Military or
no, just sales.
Oh,
just
okay.
finding spots to sell.
Okay, gotcha. Tampa's a good spot to sell.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of buyers here.
And he came down. I'm not even sure. I don't even know.
It's weird because you're not. I don't think. I don't understand everything there is to know about your business, but I don't think you're in the buying anymore as much as you are taking the garbage away. Right? So you're on the opposite
I don't
end
sell
now.
anything.
You don't sell anything. Okay, good for you.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, so the name of your company is, we wrote
Urban.
it. Well, let me say it wrong first so that you can correct me. We wrote it incorrectly on the board.
Yes.
And I'm sure we're not the first people to make that mistake.
Oh, no.
We called it Urban Recycling,
Uh-huh.
and it's actually Urban.
Urban E-Recycling.
And the E stands for?
Is
Eco?
for electronics.
Electronic. Oh, see, I still got it wrong.
Uh-huh.
And I'm in electronics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see how. So how did you come up with the logo and the name and all that? Like, where did all that stuff come from?
Oh, we just sat on the couch one evening and I said, "How about this? Nah. How about this? Nah." And Urban E-Recycling, we like that. I kind of came up with a logo, and
Which is a tree, I'm guessing.
the tree that is made out of electronic
Circuits.
Circuits.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
You see how asleep we are? And me and Evie, who's in the studio with us today, we are detail fanatics. Like,
oh yeah.
We catch, because like she helps me with the branding and the marketing and all the stuff that we do at the company, and you have to pay attention to the details. And what we've discovered is that nobody pays attention to anything. It's like so much stuff just slips by or gets missed and this and that.
Yeah, you can't hardly edit your own stuff,
Right.
I've done that. But let me tell you this, that you say a lot of people make that mistake, urban recycling.
Right.
And domain names you can buy for $6.99 or whatever.
Yeah.
But then we went to buy urban recycling because so many people misspelled it.
How'd they spell it? How'd they spell it?
Urban recycling. And so we had to buy urban recycling, and that cost us over $1,000.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Well, but if you put an E on the end of it, it's urbane recycling.
No, it's separated.
No, just kidding. So you had to pay $1,000 for your domain. That had to be fun. Did you get it
Yes.
locally or like?
No, it's
okay.
some kind of company.
And they weren't doing anything on it, but
No.
sitting on it.
No, in fact, I tried to buy it when we first got into the business, and it was the same price. It's like I can't afford it, and then a couple years later, it's like it's worth it.
Nice. And how long have you been doing this?
August 1st will be 3 years.
Now, how did you guys grow so fast in 3 years? Like, other than putting cocaine in the stuff that's going
that's
out,
true.
you know, which is one way of doing it. How did you guys? Well, it's funny because we joke about it all the time. You see these storefronts all over Dale Mabry or up and down any main street in any town, and there's never a body in there.
I know.
And they're paying $7,500 a month
Yeah.
for retail space, and you're like, okay, unless they're putting cocaine in the product, how are they making? You know?
Yeah, and that might be some kind of something like
There's
that.
a couple of businesses in town I know for a fact are putting drugs in their products.
Really?
Yeah. And the people that go there to buy their products, you know, are buying their products at that marked up price for that.
Course.
Yeah. So, because I've asked around, I've asked a million times, like, how does someone afford 10,000 square foot a month, you know, or $10,000 a month rent when there's never a soul in the building? Wow, they're, you know, oh, okay.
Yeah, because there is a better deal right down the road.
Right.
Okay, how do we?
How did you grow that
we
fast?
grow so fast?
Yeah.
I have to tell you that Greg, my partner, is the one that has the knowledge. He was in the metal scrap business for years and years.
Right.
And
I get that from him.
You shook his hand.
Yeah. Came
real,
back.
Real rough hands. And it's all based on a formula.
Right.
When the gold is up,
right,
we do really well, scrap wise. When the gold is down, we have different formulas.
Oh, okay. And where do you get most of your recycled goods?
We began as just scrap weekend warriors.
Right.
We call them. Would come in on days of the week.
Right.
A lot of we call them gypsies. You know,
right.
they are real gypsies.
Right.
They come and bring us the scrap that's already taken apart.
I've met gypsies at the fair a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of them are in the scrap business.
Sure.
So,
well, it's a transient. I mean,
yeah.
That's a great thing for someone that moves all the time.
Right, and
Yeah.
they, you know, they birth at home and
Right.
things.
Sure.
So,
Right.
but anyway, they come and we weigh it, the scrap,
Right.
and we pay them.
Oh, very
And that's how we started.
Mhm.
And then we started offering. When I came on board, I was working at the time,
Right.
another job. When I came on, I started really marketing.
Right.
And then we offered free pickups, and that's just.
Had you ever done marketing before?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've been in sales and marketing.
Okay, in
most
sales
of
and
my-
marketing. Okay. All right. So 3 years, you guys have been doing this. Let me ask you a question because I have a couple of clients that have fairly large air conditioning companies.
Uh-huh.
When someone brings in, you know, stuff that they stole, how do you figure that out? Like, because I don't know if you know this or not, air conditioners get ripped off constantly for the metal that's in them.
Yeah, and the copper.
And the copper and things.
We don't. Well, that's a good question. We like the people, the weekend warriors that can't come in. We will not buy like the newer machines,
Right.
Because of course they're not as
Devalued.
worthy,
Right.
not as good,
Right.
Because they don't have as much gold and things.
Right.
And we just, I mean, we always suspect somebody that's bringing us new machines.
Right.
that wants to,
Sure.
tear them up.
Well, that used to be a big problem with IT. It's not so much anymore because most computers come preloaded with an operating system, and they don't come with a disk. But before those days, every third customer would ask you, hey, can you load? No, I can't
No.
load because Microsoft will come and kill me. I'm not, it's not totally not worth it to me.
Oh, there's a lot of people that do though.
Yeah.
That's why we do not refurbish at all. And most of the people in the industry, that's a big part of their business.
Refurbishing computers?
Mhm.
Okay. Because
But
of
we
the
don't.
licensing or the data that might still be on the drive. Because you guys talked a lot about data.
Mhm.
I went and toured the facility recently, and it was kind of a unique experience. I think the thing that stuck out probably in my mind and everybody else's mind were the barrels full of cell phones. That's something you don't see unless you visit the FBI. I mean, it's really out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
So, with the refurbishing and seeing the things that you guys do, there's so much sensitive data out there. People just throw out a computer and they think because the computer crashed, their data's gone.
Yes.
No chance is that data gone.
And another thing that a lot of people think if they set it back to factory settings,
Right.
it's all gone.
Right.
Not right.
Right.
Not correct.
Yeah. They have a demagnetizer. They also have a crusher. What else? Incinerator?
And eraser. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what they call it, the
Mhm.
eraser that you put in like 16. It's 16 bays you can put.
So you're not the technical person at the company.
No,
I'm starting
no,
to
but
gather.
there's
Okay.
there's not a technical person there. I mean, really.
Right. That's funny. So okay, you've been doing it 3 years, and you're apparently, everybody loves you. I get rave reviews about you. I get rave reviews about a lot of people at the chamber, and then I want to interview those people because life's too short to deal with angry, boring people, this, that, and the other. Life's too short to deal with people that aren't positively impacting the world, I think. And then, when I hear of people like you and Kelly Flannery and Julie McAdoo, and these are people that are passionate about what they're doing, and you seem to have a good time while you're doing it. You always have a smile on your face. You're always cutting jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see yourself doing this for a living?
No, I didn't even know it existed.
Oh, okay. So no, definitely no. Right.
No, but I've always been kind of a recycler and a reuser. And
now, before it was a trend or after it became
always,
a trend?
I don't know, antiques. And, just always looking at, toilet rolls and thinking, I can use that for something.
Oh, you remember the watch you invented while we were doing our tour?
Yes.
But no, it wasn't a watch. It was a bracelet.
A bracelet.
Yeah.
Verizon.
Are you going to make those?
Yes.
I don't want to put it out there because I don't want somebody to steal your idea.
Yes, please.
On the spot, Dell came up with a very cool bracelet, and she had her test market there. I think there was 90% women in that tour that day, and all of them were like, "Yeah, I want one." I'm like, "Wow, that's a hell of a market to be able to test." Hey, I'm gonna do this. I'll take 10. That's pretty cool. So, have you made any yet?
No, I'm still working on
A clasp or something?
a clasp that can expand, and I have some really good ideas, though.
Very cool. Anytime soon? Christmas gifts? Stocking stuffers? Christmas in July is coming up?
Before Christmas.
You might want to work that into Christmas in July,
That's
make it a
right.
chamber thing. I'm just throwing that out there. So would you consider yourself, because I've been told by other people, but I've never actually done business with you, would you consider yourself an SOB? Service obsessed business. Like, is service a big deal to you guys? And in what way?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I had to think about that. Because, for one thing, we don't charge for anything.
Right.
And it's
you
a
incur all the
win-win.
costs. Yeah, you have to go pick it up. You have to fuel the truck, put gas,
The
insurance.
truck.
Yeah.
Insurance.
Yeah.
And labor and
a person, yeah.
overhead.
Yeah.
But
Can you really quickly explain how you said you don't charge for? Just give us the customer process real quick.
Okay.
So that people that don't understand, which I didn't understand before your tour, and
Okay.
she doesn't understand because she wasn't at the tour.
Well, our favorite customers are a small business with 10 to 50 computers.
Okay.
Wow,
that's weird. That's my favorite customer. No, I'm not kidding at all. Like, that's exactly my target market.
Well,
Right,
see?
right.
At least we know.
Right. See how smart I am to interview her?
Uh-huh.
Genius! Anyways,
And then
you want a gift certificate to Burns Steakhouse or anything when you leave here? Whatever you want. You just
okay. Thank you. We'll share customers.
Right, absolutely.
And well, the sorry thing is that they've already replaced the computers.
Right.
So they're going to call us and say, do you recycle? How much? Blah blah blah. And of
Hold on a
course,
second. You gave me a perfect opportunity. I don't charge for parts.
You don't?
I don't mark up parts. I'm not in the parts business.
Good.
I'm the service station.
See?
I'm not the parts station.
It's a win-win.
That is a super win-win for my customers because when they call me, hey, I'm thinking about getting this computer. What are you going to charge me for it? What can you get it for? Because before they've asked me that question, they've already looked it up.
Right.
Everyone's got a smartphone in their hand with Amazon and Walmart and Best Buy. Like every place on earth I could get them something. They've already looked it up 6 ways from Sunday before they ever asked me. So you ought to see the look in their eye when I go, well, whatever you got it for, I can probably get it a little cheaper because I buy a volume.
And I'm not going to charge it anymore.
Right. Wait a minute. You can get it cheaper than I can get it for? Yeah. I'm not in the parts game. I can't win that game. Amazon makes it impossible to win that game. So there's no reason for me to be in that game. But I can kill in service. I can beat almost anyone in service. That's our service obsessed part, you know?
See?
Yeah. It's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you can offer a win-win and solve a problem.
Now, do most recyclers charge for the pickup?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially the ones like the big monster copiers and things.
Right.
They're more or less worthless.
Hard to get rid of too, right?
They're hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
Well, we recycle everything.
Okay.
Even the plastics, and we don't make any money on the plastics, but we don't lose any money.
Right.
So we get enough plastic for someone to come by and pick it up.
What's the most difficult thing to get rid of because of what it's made out of or what's in it? TVs?
The CRT TVs and monitors, and that's two things we do not take. That's the only thing that I can think of that plugs up or wireless that we do not take.
I don't blame you. I had to get rid of a TV a year ago. It was like jumping through. I couldn't believe how hard it was to get rid of this TV. I had like a 40-inch TV that had been on twice. Like it was a brand new Sony Wega XBR, like every option known to it. Couldn't give the thing away. Couldn't get anybody to take it.
Salvation Army doesn't want it. The thrift stores don't want it.
Right.
But the reason why is because there's toxins in that glass, and we're not set up to take it. It's very expensive to recycle, and if we started doing that, we'd have to charge, and that's our policy. We do not charge. So
let the people that take that, let them deal with that. I'm sure there's companies out there that, we'll take it. Maybe that's their niche. I don't know.
No, actually, there's not very many people because of the toxins and things. It's very expensive, and they used to melt that glass down to reuse it, but they don't anymore.
God, you'd think the EPA might co-fund a company to, be awesome at that or something,
Yeah, it's a real problem.
Should I call Greenpeace? I got them on the phone.
No, that might open a can of worms there.
That might muddy the waters a little bit. Yeah.
So, because we don't take them, we do sell, if we have to take them, like we do St. Lucie County.
Okay.
And to get all their e-scrapped, we do have to take their CRTs.
Right.
Of course, we charge them. That's the only thing, only client we charge, and because it's a county and we have to, and then we have to pay someone to take.
Like
those.
Legally have to because of regulation.
We have to take the CRTs.
Right.
And we have to charge.
Oh, I got you. Okay, the CRT specific. I understand. Yeah, I get that.
Because if we don't,
it would kill your company if you took them and didn't charge for it. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do it.
Yeah, I understand.
So we have to pay, buy them and sell them.
Right. It makes sense.
Sell them and buy them, something like that.
So the process is somebody calls you up. Hey, I got 10 computers. I need out of here, gone, whatever. What can
we schedule. Either you can call or they can go online and schedule a pickup.
Nice.
Yep. and we try our best to honor that pickup request. If we can't, if it's
Do
out
they get
of
to
our
pick the
way.
date and time?
Yes.
Is there like a window? Like,
No, usually an hour.
wow.
So, yeah. But if we can't do it,
Mhm.
sometimes we can't. Greg just calls and says, "We can't do it this time. Is there another time we can do it?"
Right.
So it works out really well.
While we're on the subject, same thing goes for a service station. We have an hour. We have a 1 hour response time because
Right.
when you're down, you have to be up.
Right.
It's not an option to stay down. And, that's all, and you guys deal with this. That's all manpower, scheduling,
Mhm.
running an efficient company,
Right.
running a bare bones skeleton company where there's as little waste as humanly possible. All those things come into play. So every time you say something that makes me go, man, maybe I should mention that. I'm just
Yeah.
I never mentioned that.
Dunk it.
Dunk it, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, is there a specific range of area 5 to 10 miles, 20 miles, 100 miles? You're gonna go down to Key West this weekend and pick up a CRT, or what's
no.
your?
We do go down
Okay,
to
what if
Sarasota.
you went down to Key West to pick up a CRT, but they gave you a place to stay for the weekend?
Well, we'd have to.
Wow, she's got to think
schedule-
about it. This lady has too much time off, apparently.
We'd have to schedule something else
Right.
down there.
Right.
But St. Lucy's down there.
Oh, I don't know where that is.
Yeah, it's down there on the other coast. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
it's
Quite a drive.
it's quite a drive.
But you're
and-
picking up more than one thing. You're picking up.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we get.
And how often do they have a pickup?
I think once a month.
Okay.
You're asking the wrong
Is it
person.
is it the dump or something? The same.
Yeah, that's
okay.
that's the county.
Do they call them
landfill.
dumps anymore? I think it's politically
no, it's
correct. You're not allowed to.
landfill.
You hurt
That's
somebody's
a-
feelings if you call it a
Yeah.
dump. Or I mean, you're dumping stuff there, but you can't call it
That's right.
whatever. It's a landfill now,
It's a
which is a
landfill.
better term.
Yes, it is.
Really? We want the landfill with that stuff?
Because it sounds greener.
Right. It sounds greener. Yeah. It's funny how there wasn't all this green talk 20 years ago, and now everyone wants to label themselves green. Whether or not they're doing anything green is,
That's right.
right,
But we try to make it easy.
right.
It doesn't cost them anything.
Right. And what we do is truly green. Like, we bring our fingers and we go like this to the keyboards. Like, I don't know how much greener than that, an IT company. I mean, that's really all we do. That's how we fix your problem,
Well, what's green about that, though?
We don't bring any tools. We don't use any chemicals. We don't,
okay.
we don't burn anything. There's nothing.
No recycling.
There's nothing getting used except for our own internal energy.
Oh, that's cool.
You
can get a virus out doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. See, you know about as much about my company as I know about yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even try.
Do you use a computer? I mean, with a name
Oh,
like
yeah.
Dell.
Yeah.
You
Of course
know?
I use a Mac.
Oh, of course. Her name is Dell. She uses Apple.
Of course.
Of course. So, is your middle name Apple?
No.
No. Just all right.
Uh-uh.
Just checking. So, what is your? If people want to find you, because I know that you're very active in the chamber, as am I, because I want people to find me.
Mhm.
How else do you go about making the phone ring, or are you guys proactive? You call people, hey, we want
No.
your junk.
We do have the first year.
Right.
I did a lot of cold calling physically, going in businesses and handing my cards.
Is it brutal?
No, actually, I enjoy it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow, you're a rare breed.
Yeah, but it's I'm not selling.
Right.
So
oh, that's true.
just,
You're taking
yeah,
taking
I'm
a
saying
problem
if
away.
If
Yeah.
you have any problems and no follow up or anything, just say, we're here, awareness. And,
Yeah, you almost get to walk in. Hey, you want me to take out your trash?
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of.
and I've
Yeah.
done that. I've been going back to the car and someone come out and follow me. Hey, would you take this? Okay.
But that's your son. Yeah, he's a. Now,
I
when
can use them.
Right. When I walk into a company and go, hey, can I take out your trash? I usually mean their worthless IT guy. so I don't get quite the warm. I don't get quite the warm, acceptance that you.
Maybe sometimes. It's like
Right.
SOB. Replace them with another SOB.
Right, and replace them with another SOB.
Yeah.
So you get a warm. So now you don't do the cold calling so much, I guess. And what do you do now to make the phone ring?
Well, I built the website and
Yourself?
Yes,
Is it any good?
of course.
Nice. Look at her pouting.
But you can't help everybody.
Mhm.
But it is a very good website.
Very cool. It is pretty. I've seen it actually.
Well, thank you.
I just wanted to see if you thought it was good.
Well, just because people like you say it's good.
Ah, wow,
IT people.
that's saying
So-
something.
And then I'm found on Google first page,
Nice.
So-
How'd you do that?
Really?
Paid a lot?
No, I didn't pay anything.
All right, folks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Listen up closely. No, this is important information. Before you go any further.
Okay.
One, my website is phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, selfservicesucks.com. Your website is
urbanerecycling.com.
urbanerecycling.com. Check out both of our websites. Like us both on Facebook. Tweet us.
You can tweet me, but you have to look me up.
No, follow us, not tweet us. Well, you can tweet us, but
tweet
follow us on Tweetus. Follow us on Tweetus. Tweet us. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, check out our websites. If you like this interview, then by all means tell us that you do it. If you don't, then just keep it to yourself. But it's cool that you built your own website. And how did you
Oh, I just worked very hard.
But don't forget the ranking thing. We're going to go back to that in a minute.
Okay.
And if we forget the ranking thing, it's your job to remind us of the ranking thing. We have to figure out how she came up first page without doing anything or without paying anything.
Oh, well.
Don't let the cat out of that. We'll get to that.
And okay, what's the question now?
The website. How did you get in? How did you, someone who's never built a website, you never built a website before?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
I started
You
building
built Dell's website?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I sold
Nice.
it to them really
Good
cheap.
for you.
But yeah, I've been tinkering with websites for a long, long time. Never done it as.
How did you get into that?
I just wanted to. I
Okay.
just it fascinated me, and I taught myself, and it took me a long, long time. A lot of reading.
What's a long time?
Close to a year.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm telling you, that's not bad. You should be proud of yourself.
It felt like it.
Yeah. Oh, I understand.
And I still am reading all the time.
Right.
I mean, it's just almost like a full-time job,
Right.
keeping up with everything.
Do you play any instruments?
Oh yeah,
I
piano.
just started playing guitar. Right there.
Cool.
I feel like a retard. Like I'm taking my lesson from my instructor. I
Uh-huh.
have no idea what he's talking about. It's like a foreign language, and my brain hurts.
And you've never taken music lessons at
No,
all?
well,
Okay,
I was a singer in chorus, and I've been a singer my whole life, but I can't read music.
Oh,
I can hear something one time, and
right.
but whatever the ability is to read music and know what string I'm on and know what note that is and know where I'm holding it, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
gonna
not
take
to
a while.
get too off track. Yeah, that probably hurts you.
Yeah, it's
the
awful.
Ear thing.
It's awful.
Yeah, me too. It's
awful.
really, really hard for me to read music because I do the same thing. I hear something and
Oh, okay.
So-
Very cool. Very cool.
that's,
So you learn how to do websites in a year, and I'm going back to this because this is a technology business, and
Uh-huh.
this interview is very technology related.
Uh-huh.
And my web girl over there, she went through the same process. Evie,
Mhm.
she's waving. She's not on camera, but she's
Mhm.
waving. Same thing with her. I noticed when she first started working with me that she had kind of a very artistic, detail-oriented work personality. And I'm like,
Mhm.
she'd probably be good at building websites. Like, I don't think it had even really crossed her mind. We've all done stuff on Facebook or MySpace or whatever at some point in our life, but a website is a different animal
Right.
altogether. So I asked her one day, I said, hey, I want this image on my website changed. Can you just try that? Because she's very good with Photoshop.
Mhm.
And as a web developer, you have to know multiple softwares. You
Uh-huh.
can't just know one thing,
Right.
or you're going to have a website that looks like you do one thing.
Yeah.
So she did that, and then she did more, and she did more, and over time, and now she builds websites that I have nothing to do with, and she's amazing at it. But it's cool that you did that. As a business owner, you built your own website, and it came out good. It came out really good.
Thank you.
But you had to put 1 million hours for a year into it.
That's true. And I still read all the time because I don't want to fall.
Right,
you know,
right.
My rank.
Is it something that you would continue doing in the future, like something that you enjoy enough to, or are you just trying to keep your website up?
I'm just keeping my website up now, but I would consider it if we ever sold our business. I don't know if we would ever do that, but I don't know. But it's just so fascinating. You put a code in and a picture comes up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
it's crazy. How often do you have to touch your website, or?
Not regularly.
Right.
I try to put something different on at least once a month. I used to do it like once a week, but now it's like once a month.
It's a little harder than Facebook. It's a little more time consuming than
it is.
Just making a post somewhere or whatever. We were at a networking event. I think it was a networking event I met you at. It was a business. What's that? It was that one called. It was at a bank, C1 Bank.
Oh.
The business group, the South Tampa Chamber of Business. Business something or other.
Business Solutions.
Business Solutions, yes.
I knew there was an S.
So we were at the Business Solutions meeting, which is where I think I met you. And as we were walking out of the door, one of the members of that group says to me, "Rolando, you have the best website I've ever seen in my entire life." And I said, "Yeah, when you spend $20,000 in 2 years of your life, that's what you get." Mm-hmm. But it's my company. I'm an IT company.
You have to.
If mine doesn't look amazing, I'm not going to get the job because I'm representing that field. You know what I mean? Like if you guys, I don't know how how to equivalent that for recycling, but I guess if you showed up in a 70 jalopy that was spitting smoke all over the place, and you're calling yourself Urban E-Recycling, you might not get the gig.
Right.
So, same kind of thing or whatever.
Right. And I want my website to be a little different anyway. Right. I want it to be homegrown looking.
Right.
But I don't know.
So what do you do to make, one of the things that I try to do in these interviews is I try to help other businesses with their business.
Okay.
Business owners are watching this. Mm-hmm. They're watching it because they know you, like you. They know me, they like me, or they know me and don't like me, and they know you and don't like you. They want to watch it and wait for us to screw up so they can come take all our customers or whatever. Yeah. But one of the things I try to do in these interviews is people that haven't figured out something that you or I may have figured out may watch this interview and go, "Oh yeah," So like one of the things that I always try to get across on every interview is how do you make the phone ring or how do you get customers? Because I think as a business owner, we're asking everybody we know, how do you make the phone ring? How do you get customers? Unless we're so slammed that, that's not a concern of ours. But I think as a business owner, most people want to know, how do you make the phone ring? How do you make, how do you get customers?
I constantly ask myself,
Self.
What's my target market?
Right.
And sometimes it changes, but I always try to think, what do people want? I try to get out of myself.
Sure.
And get.
That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find out what they're passionate about. It's always me.
Right.
You can say
they're always passionate about you, or they're always
no. They're always. It is a me thing, or people say that they like to donate this and they not like to donate that, and that's good.
Right.
But why? Because it makes them feel good.
Right.
And it's always self, and that's why I try to think of what makes people feel good.
Right.
And what makes people feel good is free.
Yeah, free is good.
Free's
hard to beat.
Yeah. And what makes people feel good is clean.
Right.
So we will take out the trash.
Right.
You say.
Right.
They feel good about being secure,
mm-hmm.
and that's why we didn't think about destroying data when we first got into this.
Right.
Just like in fact, Greg says, "Nah, that's too expensive. That's going to be another business." Da 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 da. It's like, of course, I'm always thinking ahead.
Right. He's focused on the task at hand.
Yeah. And it's really good for both of us because we do different things.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I'm always thinking. What is something that someone wants?
Well, it's good that you have conversations with yourself for one.
Yes.
But it's good to always ask other people because, like, for one, whenever we do a marketing effort or we do anything, I have her and I have Jason, I have other people that I bounce stuff off of because just because it makes sense to me, it doesn't mean it's going to make sense to anybody else on earth. And if I can see that you're glazed over the second I start, I immediately, I have to figure out a way for this to make sense for you because it doesn't benefit me for it to make sense to me.
Right.
It benefits me if it makes sense to you. So I think it's very important for business owners to get out of their own way. Like I have clients, and I say this in almost every interview. One of the things I enjoy the most about having an IT company is that in the 15 years I've had this company, I've walked into thousands and thousands of companies, probably 2,000 or 3,000 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And as an IT company, I have a more intimate knowledge of these companies than most people ever will. I know more about my clients than their wives, their accountants, and their attorneys do because I know everything the wife, the accountant, and the attorney knows, as opposed to just knowing what the wife, just knowing what the accountant, just knowing what the attorney. I know it all. That because as an IT, because of the nature of what we do, we're dealing with all of that information. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's dangerous, but
So the upside to it is I've walked into thousands of companies over the year. I have clients that I've had for 5 or 6 years. I can't tell you what they do. I can't tell you what they do because their marketing and their branding and their name and their domain name and their website and everything about it doesn't give me that information.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's terrible. And what happens is people start a business and they're so busy working the business that the business eventually gets out of control and they never have time to step back and ask themselves, what am I telling my customers? What am I saying to the world? What am I saying to anybody? You know what I'm saying? But the thing, it grew, they're making money and all this is happening, but the message is so convoluted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No focus.
There's no focus and there's no time to focus. And the only way they're ever going to get focus is stepping back or hire someone to focus.
Right.
Hire
someone to come in and
clean up the mess.
Yeah.
Take out the trash.
Right. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And I've been in business several times.
Right.
And some of them.
You think because of focus or lack of focus is why some of them didn't?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I always blame it on my ex-husband.
Even the ones he had nothing to do with.
Yeah. But
in fact, I'm going to do another business in 10 years and somehow, some way.
That might be true.
Yeah.
But that's why Greg and I are so valuable to each other because we are so different.
Right.
And we have a meeting every every Friday night at a restaurant, and talk about business, the week-long business, and then
we do ours every Monday. We have a full-blown Monday. What are we going to market this week? What worked last week? Because you can see the blips on the radar, especially if you do it weekly like we do. And the reason we do it weekly is so that we have something to measure. If you go 2 or 3 weeks or a month and you don't touch it, you don't know what's working because you're not paying close enough attention to know what's working. But we have the meetings every week and we try to figure out, what popped on the radar, what worked. And, we go to networking events constantly and we're constantly, we almost get tackled because of the shirts. People, wow, we really like your shirt, the domain name, the logo, this, that, and the other. And they tell us they like it as if we're surprised that they like it. Dude, we put 1,000,000 hours of thought into this. This it wasn't an accident. You know what I'm saying?
But it's still fun.
It's still fun, but it's further proof that people just get started. They get a card, they throw some crappy logo, and then they just run down the street, and then they can't figure out 3-4 years in, how come nobody knows what we do?
Yeah.
Because you didn't tell them 1,000 times in a row. This is what we do. 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 And the other thing that we always constantly talk about, which is I want to talk about with you, is in the 15 years of having this company and going into thousands of businesses, I've never met a business owner that can tell me this works as far as making the phone ring.
Oh, yeah.
And
then, well, I've been in a marketing background, but and I've read a lot.
Right.
And then what I read, and I believe it, is if you find something that works,
right,
keep on doing it until it stops
working. Beat it into the ground. Yeah.
And then you change.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do.
When I was in, and this is a hard thing for people to keep in mind also. When I was a radio DJ, I worked at a radio station, and we used to, every time we turned on the microphone, we would have to say the fresh mix. Like that was, we weren't allowed to say anything before saying the fresh mix ever. Mm-hmm. So imagine, and every time you open the microphone, you had to say it 2 or 3 times in your 10, 20, 30 second spiel, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so the third year of working at this radio station, my bosses, come in. 3 years now? I mean, how long are we going to keep doing this fresh mix thing? And he goes, until people get it. And I'm like, they don't get it? No. Why? Because they're not paying attention. And I'm like, wow. Like, because that was my first, eye-opening experience in the marketing world. So, a habit that business owners have is to not over-market. That's a habit that business owners have. I don't want to bother people. I don't want to annoy people. I don't want to be too pushy. Now, I'm not saying turn into a used car salesman and walk up to every person and go, hey, you want to buy something? Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is always be visible. Mm-hmm. Always be out. Always be online. Always be. Be everywhere all the time. Because most people aren't paying attention to anything you're doing.
That's true. Introduce yourself until someone else introduces you.
Right. Right.
Until you walk in the group of people and people say, I know you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we talk all the time because she's newer to marketing, or not marketing, she's newer to networking than I am. Mm-hmm. I've had a business for 15 years. Right. And before that, I had another DJ business for years, so I've been networking, my whole adult life. And, one of the first things that we discussed is, because I didn't know what her experience level was with networking. I told her I've never handed my business card ever to anyone that didn't ask for it. Ever. I've never done that. And I remember the conversation that we had about it. She's like, why is that? And I said, well, most people are more there's a higher likeliness of someone to buy from you when they requested your information than there is if you vomited your information on them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we went to a meeting last week. We went to a meeting with someone, a one-on-one, and a one-on-one, you're supposed to get to know each other. Mm-hmm. We can tell you everything there is to know about that individual. They can't tell you anything there is to know about us. We didn't get a minute. We didn't get a minute in the entire hour. And we got the cards vomited on us, and we got the postcard vomited on us.
Yeah. Isn't that irritating?
It's really irritating.
It's just like, man, I've wasted an hour.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be mutually beneficial. Mm-hmm. And so, one of the things that I thought about when I started doing these interviews was I want people that are in the interview to tell their potentials, what they want, what they're looking for, what they do. Mm-hmm. But if there's in any way, shape, or form you heard something or discovered something in the interview of us talking that would make you go, yeah, I should do that. I want that too. I want it to be beneficial to you, mm-hmm. and I would like to learn from you. Like if you, man, I can't believe I didn't do that. Why don't I try that? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because the more business owners talk to each other, instead of seeing everyone as the threat and the enemy, which is,
right. No.
It's rampant.
I mean, it's sharing. It's the more you share, the better feedback you get, and it's amazing. And I have to say, I was guilty at shoving my card in front of people, years ago.
Well, you're a professional salesperson. You get in that.
Yeah. And I didn't know any better, and that's the way I was taught.
Mhm.
But man, it makes so much more better mutual.
Exchange.
Yeah.
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 I'm here all week.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
but anyway, if I met an attorney. Well, it was my job as an ambassador at Southampton Chamber to deliver his plaque, and my job is supposed to be, tell them all about the committees and things.
Right.
Well, someone asked me what kind of committees he would be interested in, in the chamber, and I says, I forgot all about that. He told me all about his passion about. He was adopted. His wife was adopted. He adopted a child. So his focus and specialty is adoption.
Right.
And that's what we talked about.
Right.
It's like never thought about committees.
Right.
So,
Right.
Anyway, that's just an
So-
example I was thinking.
So if you're someone who goes out and does a lot of networking and meets people, what is the rule? Keep your mouth closed twice as much as you keep your ears open, something like that. It's something.
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that proportion, and use it like that. I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
It's just, whenever you go into an exchange of any kind, and you're looking to be the benefactor of that exchange, you're really going into that exchange for the wrong reason, I believe.
Right.
And with the reason I came up with SOB, Service Obsessed Businesses, is because you called me. I didn't call you. You called me because you believe I can help you. I can help you. I can help you better than anyone has ever helped you in this arena. But in order for me to do that, I have to shut up and listen to your needs.
Exactly.
So when someone calls me, hey, Rolando, I want a computer. How much is it going to cost? What are you going to do with the computer? Because if you're going to do video editing, that's this computer. If you're going to send email, that's this computer. Those are 2 different machines. They're 2 different animals. They're not even in the same price range. They're not even closely related to each other. But if you walk in, if I were the other kind of IT guy, which unfortunately runs rampant in our world, and says, oh, it's going to be $1,500 because I'm going to buy you a $500 laptop and triple the price on it, I'm not helping you in any way, shape, or form. I'm just looking to cash in on the deal. And I learned that lesson the hard way. We used to have IT companies, before I had my own company, I used to be the IT director of other companies. And we would have outside agencies come in and do huge projects for us, something that our internal staff just couldn't handle. It was just way out of our scope. And these companies would break our legs the second they walked in the door and take all of our money, and then they would have to go search for another client to kill because they killed this one. So now they need another one to kill and another one to kill and another one to kill. And I learned by watching that process, wow, this constantly looking for a client to kill is a lot of work.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It'd be like as a hunter going out, killing a 200-pound animal, eating a pound of it, and throwing the rest of it away. That's exactly what it was like to me. So I was like, there's got to be a better way. Let me just go nibble on this thing for 10 years instead of, instead of taking, just a piece and throwing the whole thing away. Let me just go nibble on this thing for 10 years. And, it can't just be my philosophy. It also has to be the philosophy that everyone that works with me, because everyone that works with me charges me, to do the services they're performing for my clients. So when I get an invoice from one of my techs that I think is a little outrageous, is this the last time you want to work for this guy? No, you might want to check this invoice. Because as the owner of the company, somebody has to, you can't let the inmates run the asylum. Somebody has got to be the rule of law in a business in order for the business to be successful.
Right.
So do you run into, I'm sure the people that work at your place probably don't set the pricing because you guys don't collect, but are there things that if you let them get out of control could very easily
Probably, but
Missing cell phones or anything like that?
well, Greg is very. He runs the warehouse. I don't go to the warehouse very much, so
I don't blame you.
He's,
I worked in the warehouse for years. It's brutal.
It is.
It's hot and dirty.
And I have to say, we have very honest people so far.
Right.
And we don't have that problem. We don't have problems with our team yet. I mean,
that's awesome.
I know. I mean, knock on wood.
Right.
But
That's
I mean, we have an awesome. Yeah. We have an awesome team, and we're very, very fortunate to.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and that's hard to assemble.
It is. It is. Our first employee for a year, his first week vacation, he went out and started his own business to compete with us.
Nice. How'd that work out?
Not very good for him.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Greg told me he wasn't ready. You're not ready.
Right.
But good luck with that. But yeah. But since then, we've had some really awesome people working, and one just came back. He was just part-time, and we got a text message. I'm in North Carolina right now. My sister-in-law kicked me out or something.
Nice.
It's okay because
Right.
he came back and
Right.
now he's working for us.
Right. I'm really happy too. I have a great, group of people that I work with. But what I'm happiest about is that, well, for one, before anybody does anything for me, I tell them, if you don't put the customer first, you will not make it here. There's no way you can last working with me if you don't put the customer first and foremost. Because that's all we have.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Because everyone's mother, brother, sister, uncle, cousin, nephew does what we do. We just happen to do it professionally and know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. But everyone knows somebody that knows how to tinker with a computer.
Right.
So, if somebody calls you and they're down and you don't return that phone call or respond for an hour or two or three or the next day, their their sister, uncle, brother, cousin, whatever has already tinkered with it before you get a chance to fix it. And they didn't do it right, and now they're mad at me because now it's worse. And you know what I mean? It's like it's a spiraling effect. But everyone that works with us realizes that, the customers make everything we do possible. Our cars, our houses, food in the fridge, all of it comes from the customers. So we got to be customer focused. And I'm just thrilled to death that I have good people. It took time to weed. I had to weed people. I had to give people. I gave everybody enough rope to hang themselves. But as soon as they hang themselves, I'm like, right. We got to part company. This is not going to work out. And I wish that I wish more businesses were like that. One of the things I talk about and how I came up with SOB is everywhere I go, customer service is so bad. It's so many places. I don't even know how places stay open with as horrendous as the customer service is in most places.
Yeah, I understand. And when you do find someone that has good customer service, that you stick with them.
Yeah.
So
it's so hard to get.
It's
so hard to get. I pick on restaurants a lot because it's, I think going out to eat is probably something that small business owners do more than almost anything.
Probably. Because
we're just so busy running around. And what are you going to do? Run to the house every time you want? You know what I mean? The house is 10, 15, 20 miles away across town in traffic, But, if you go out to eat 2 or 3 times a day, and if you're like me and you're driving all over the city, you're usually going to all different kinds of places. I don't know how some places stay open. You walk in the door, no one even looks up.
Don't even greet you.
Yeah, they don't get you a table. If they do, it takes 10 minutes. If they sit you at the table, you don't get a water for 10 minutes. No one comes and takes your order for 20 minutes. It's like, it's lunchtime. I got stuff to do. Can we wrap it up here? It's like, it drives me crazy. Is there anything like that the things like that make you just...
No, I just want to say on that, vein,
Right.
when you do find people with good customer service, you stick with them, and then you forgive them when they respond quickly. Everybody makes a mistake.
Sure.
But if they confess and say, I'm sorry, I made this mistake and I'm going to make it right, that makes a
someone
huge
always
difference.
trying goes a long way. Like if you see someone always, wow, I did it again, and then they screwed up one time. Well, let's see what he does next time. Oh, he did it again. You let some stuff slide, you know? But yeah, because not everybody's perfect, like you said. Can you define service?
Service. It's a verb.
It is.
And it is... Gosh, you really put me on the spot.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
I can edit all this time out.
Good.
Like I can make it look like I asked a question, and before I finished it, you answered. I'm like, whoa! Let me get to the question.
I am good. It's. I think of the word subservient.
Right.
You're doing something someone needs.
Right.
That's it.
I have an expression that I put on my website after seeing a movie called The Peaceful Warrior, and Nick Nolte plays. Remember Nick Nolte?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Nick Nolte plays a gas station attendant or owner. I don't know, attendant owner, whatever. He's wearing a mechanic shirt, you know.
Uh-huh.
And this kid, you know, this yuppie kid that grew up silver spoon, lives in a mansion, never had to work a day in his life, is making fun of him, and he's like, oh, what are you? You know, gas station attendants? And he goes, no, it's a service station. And the kid looked at him strange, and he goes, service, above all else. There is no higher calling. You know, and I was like, man, that is so true.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
Because if you know, in every business, I don't care what you do, we're all in the service business. Some of us just don't realize it and don't act like it, you know. But, you know, that was the thing when I changed the name to the service station, because the company used to be a different name, and before I rebranded and all this other stuff, I tried to, you know, I looked at all the IT companies that were out there, and all of them focus on the newest, latest, greatest, shiniest gadget.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody talks about service. Nobody cares about service except the customer.
Mm-hmm.
But those companies didn't build their company on the customer. They built their company on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's why I went through all that. And the service really is, I mean, if you're not here to provide a service to help someone, why are you here? You know, I understand we all have to make money, but can't you make money by doing the right thing?
That's exactly why I feel like we're doing so well.
Right.
We do everything right, and actually it's pretty easy.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to hide numbers, or you don't have to hide
Shell game,
things,
right.
or you don't have to.
Are you talking about your sales experience, your sales past again with Dell?
No. I'm not going to tell you.
Right.
But
in
yeah.
corporate sales, a lot of what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get nervous when the tax man comes or something, the compliance guy comes. We don't have that. We're not stressing over that. Yeah. So it's like...
Me either. I'm the same way. Everything is on my invoice, line item by line item. Hey, why'd you charge me this? Are you looking at the invoice? Yeah. That's why. Yeah. Whatever you see there, that's what we did.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it.
This is like, you can sleep at night.
Right. Well, not only that, like I took it a step further because there's so much hiding in convoluting in the IT world. Mm-hmm. Like everyone marks up parts, ridiculously marks up parts. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing they do is everyone inflates everything they can to just break your legs, you know, at the knees in every way conceivable way, right? So one of the ways that I combated that was I put my prices on my website, but I also put all my competitors' prices right next to my prices.
Okay.
You know, so that someone goes, well, I don't want to pay that. Okay, there's 10 other companies.
Yes.
Their prices are on my website. Call them.
Yeah.
How do you argue with that?
Yeah.
Not only are my prices visible, but all my competitors' prices are visible. Mm-hmm. I'm not hiding anything. And the reason I do that is because, one of the biggest problems with the IT industry is that because we're sitting in front of a computer and air conditioning, we're not working. Like that's the mindset of the customer, which is why I went with work shirts to reassure you we are working. We just happen to be in the AC with the lights on, whatever, But what people don't understand is, well, you came and helped me, and the bill was X. Your guy was only here for a half hour. Right. He brought 25 years of experience to be able to fix it in a half hour. If you call your nephew 3 weeks from now, it still won't be fixed. The bill will be cheaper, but the problem will still be here.
And they still have to call you.
And you're still going to have to call me anyway. So, all of it goes, it's all tied together to get people to understand, yes, we're working. We're just highly trained, highly skilled, precision. What we do is a very precision task. And you can't just call a cab driver to come fix your computer problem. He's not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And if he does do it, he's going to Band-Aid it in a way that you're going to be revisiting this problem tomorrow or a week from now, and we don't do that kind of stuff.
I just heard someone say on a TV show, I hope you don't pick your surgeon like that. So
remember I just talked about that the other day?
Yeah.
About acceptable results? It's crazy. Like, let me ask you a question. Have you ever worked on a car in your entire life? You have?
Yes.
Wow.
Not a whole lot.
Like transmission change out or
no,
actually something simple?
No, brakes. I changed brakes.
Nice.
My dad was a mechanic.
My dad was a mechanic too, which is how I ended up with all this. So what I wanted to ask you was, is it your first instinct? Let's say you're leaving here today, your transmission went out. Would it be your first instinct to pull over, jack the car up, take transmission out, and fix it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
AAA.
All right. So it wouldn't be your first instinct.
No.
Second or third?
No.
Okay. Just checking. The reason I ask this is because most people have no problem when something goes wrong with their computer. Click, 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 click. Like our buddy, you click, we click, what is it? You click, we
fix.
You click, we fix? Yeah. I'm sure he came up with that because something happens.
So it's like,
and then people go insane. How is that going to fix it? You don't even know what you're clicking. Stop clicking. And it's the same mentality. Like, even though my father was a mechanic, whatever that gene is to mechanically fix something, I don't have that gene. I can technologically fix anything. I can't mechanically. I break everything mechanical that I touch. I can make electronics do things they weren't intended to do, but I can't do that with mechanical stuff. I don't have, whatever that is. I don't have that. Right?
Yeah, I just don't have the passion.
Right.
I don't care.
So it would never cross my mind, even as the son of a mechanic, to fix my transmission. I would hand the keys to a transmission guy and say, fix it. So the reason I'm bringing this up is I always make it a point on every video to make sure that it's so important that people hire a professional and pay them a professional rate to do professional work. Now with you, it's a little different because you come and take the stuff for free.
Yes, but
you also don't take their hard drive and hand it to someone on the street.
No, and there is some professionalism there.
Right.
We always leave the space clean.
Right. You don't come and destroy the work area and leave it there.
And people do.
Right.
I'm sure there's people. Well, just like there's differences in people calling different air conditioning mechanics.
Yeah.
They stomp mud in your house,
right.
or they, it's just little things sometimes.
Well, I'm the detail psycho in my company, so I went and helped out on a job this morning. We have a client that's a stock trader or something like that, and he's got the wraparound monitors on his desk, and he wanted another monitor on his desk. So instead of 3, he wanted 4. And I'm the guy for the job because I'll tie wrap this thing to where you'll never see a cable and it'll look like it came that way. Like I'm the psycho about it, where one of my techs would walk away and it's good enough, I'll spend another 3 hours, so that it's just like you could put it in a museum. You know what I mean? Like that's just me. I'm just perfectionist, detail oriented. You know. So I went and did that. But most people, if left to their own devices, would just leave cables hanging all over the place, and it would look terrible. And the client would go, "Really? I just paid for this?" You know, and that's something that as the owner of the company, I have to beat in everybody's head. Mm-hmm. This is the level of service that we provide. I don't know what you did before you arrived on the scene with me or where you were, but we got a whole different set of standards here because my name is on it, and I have to see these people all the time. Like if I went and did something for your company, and now I got to see you 2 or 3 times a month, and we half-assed it. Like, hey, Dell, how you doing, Dell? You know, you good? And Dell's over in the corner going, "Don't hire these guys. These guys are idiots. They don't want to." You know, you don't want that.
I understand. Yeah. Good enough is not good enough.
It's never good enough. So, did we cover everything that you think that you would like your customers or your referral base to understand about you guys?
Oh, probably not. But I can't think of anything right now.
You know what I like about you? You're honest. There's no fakeness in you. Because I can see through fakeness in my life.
Good.
Where are you from, Ohio or something? Where are you from?
Florida.
Really? Uh-huh. Like what part of Florida?
New Smyrna Beach on the other coast.
So like you're like from a chill, laid back kind of environment.
Well, yeah, and my parents are from West Virginia.
Oh, okay. Okay, very cool. A lot of truth tellers in West Virginia?
Nazarenes. Yeah, everybody knew not to ask.
Google that if you don't know what it means.
Everybody knew not to ask my dad, isn't this baby pretty?
Oh, wow. Wow, that's cool. So we hope you enjoyed the interview. Thank you so much for doing this. Oh. You're one of the most SOBs I know.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for Evie and her wonderful help today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, our website, selfservicesucks.com. Your website?
urbanerecycling.com.
Is there anywhere else you want people to find you? Telephone, is that a big deal for you guys, or do you just prefer the web?
Yeah, well, Greg likes to answer the phone, so he'll answer it, and if you leave a message, he'll get back to you in 2 minutes.
You want to tell them the number, or should they guess?
Oh, it's okay. 813-501-9346.
Good, you know your number.
Yeah, I have to think about it.
Well, thanks so much for your time. You did a great job.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.